has a warrant. We don't have a warrant from him.
I will let go when you show me the judicial warrant. Where is it? You don't have authority to arrest U.S. citizens.
They're detaining American citizens. This man, he's a U.S. citizen and a disabled veteran, and ICE, thinking he was a part of a protest, is what the family thinks, broke his window, pepper sprayed him, and dragged him out of there. He is now somewhere. They can't find him. It's getting really crazy at this point, right? Like, you guys have to admit, when we've got U.S. citizens that are being rounded up, maybe it's getting a little out of control.
According to CBS Los Angeles and Camarillo, California, a U.S. citizen and Army veteran was pulled from his car by federal agents as he arrived at work. Despite presenting valid proof of citizenship, ICE still arrested him. He was held for 3 days before being released without charges.
It took 2 officers to kneel on my back and then 1 on my neck to arrest me, even though my hands were already behind my back and I was covered in OC spray.
Throughout 2025, reports surfaced across the country of U.S. citizens being mistakenly detained by ICE. In most of these cases, the individuals presented valid identification, including social security cards and driver's licenses. Civil rights groups have documented a pattern of misidentification, often tied to outdated or inaccurate federal databases. The issue has led to public concern, legal complaints, and growing scrutiny of ICE's verification procedures.
U.S. citizens, natural-born U.S. citizens, are now being detained by ICE. These are called collateral arrests. So do you see what's happening? They are detaining illegally, unconstitutionally, U.S. citizens off the street, and then when they realize they've made a mistake, they are claiming they have no knowledge of the detention.
ICE officials have stated that such incidents are rare. However, lawsuits and first-hand accounts suggest there may be recurring problems in how citizenship is verified during field operations. To understand how these errors can occur, it's important to examine how ICE's enforcement powers were created and how they evolved after 2003. Immigration and Customs Enforcement was established in 2003 under the Department of Homeland Security following the 9/11 attacks as part of efforts to strengthen national security and protect public safety. 2 key programs allowed local police to work with federal immigration enforcement: the 287G program, which lets local officers perform some ICE duties, and the Secure Communities program, which shares fingerprint data from local jails with federal immigration databases. Civil rights groups and immigration attorneys have raised concerns that these programs can contribute to wrongful arrests when database errors, outdated records, or similar names trigger detainers. Despite reforms over the past decade, both programs remain in use as of 2025. In several confirmed 2025 cases, including those involving George Reedy's and more, ICE officers initiated detentions based on data alerts routed through these systems. Barbara Stone's case shows how these detentions can unfold. The 71-year-old U.S. citizen was accused of pushing an ICE agent and held for hours.
Hey, detain that lady.
The latest video to send shockwaves from San Diego Immigration Court through the immigrant community is actually not of an immigrant, but a 71-year-old U.S. citizen named Barbara Stone.
I was surprised. It felt like an out-of-body experience.
Stone was handcuffed and held by federal agents for 8 hours on Tuesday, according to her family.
NBC New York reported the arrest of Elzon Lemus, a 23-year-old electrician in Westbury. Despite showing valid documentation, he was handcuffed. In an LA Taco interview, Adrian Andrew Martinez, age 20, was arrested at his Walmart job. Despite verifying citizenship, he was detained and later fired.
Adrian, you told the agents that you were a U.S. citizen?
Yes, and I told them that when they started questioning me, they said, okay, where were you born? I said, I was born in Huntington Park. And he said, do you have anything to prove that? I said, well, yeah, I have my driver's license on me.
Do you feel like they believed that you were a U.S. citizen?
I believe that they knew. Basically, they just wanted any type of little proof to see if it's true. And they're making it very hard for me.
Medical injuries did you sustain during your arrest and detainment? Can you tell me a little bit about that?
Their fingerprints and a big bruise on between my bicep and my back was bruised. I had bruises right here.
This ABC7 clip follows the case of Andrea Velez, whose detention sparked questions about ICE's tactics and lack of communication during enforcement operations.
At the center of this chaos in downtown LA Tuesday morning is Andrea Velez of South LA. The 32-year-old American citizen had just been dropped off by her family for work at 9th and Spring when ICE agents charged her and arrested her. For 24 hours, her family had no idea where Andrea was, how she was doing, or how to contact her.
Julio Noriega, 54, was taken off the street and detained overnight, despite carrying his ID and social security card. Attorney Heidi Plummer, as reported by the Daily Journal, was arrested on June 10th in Santa Ana. There was no warning, no rhyme or reason, she says. These arrests have lasting effects. George Reddy's returned home visibly changed. His wife told Military.com he became anxious and withdrawn. Barbara Stone shared her reaction publicly after the arrest.
This is from the handcuffs, so I have a large bruise there. I feel mentally and psychologically traumatized.
And an officer says Stone pushed her.
She is the last person in the universe who would hit an agent.
All came from other countries. I find it surreal.
In Boyle Heights, WCPO 9 reported a noticeable spike in school absences following ICE activity near schools.
Many of whom have said specifically that they're scared to come to school because of the potential of those raids.
They were trying to help a student who had just recently moved to our country, and the student looked at her and asked, "Are they going to deport me today?"
Families and parents are writing me saying they don't want to send their children to school.
Run these guys around with masks on, deporting all these people that frickin' helped our country in the damn 40s. We brought them over to fucking help bail us out of World War II. All of a sudden, and all these people that comment on my frickin' social media and just talk all kinds of racist smack and all kinds of shit. You know what? When you go to get your car washed, I guarantee you there's 5 undocumented immigrants washing your car, and you didn't say shit. You paid your little $18 and you got your car washed. You walk in that restaurant with your family and you got an undocumented immigrant probably back there washing dishes and cooking your food and probably taking your damn order and possibly owning the damn business, and you don't say shit. But now all of a sudden, the game has changed. The rules have changed. If you're illegal and you came across illegal, you need to go back home.
A class action lawsuit filed in California alleges systemic civil rights violations by ICE. Plaintiffs argue that the agency relies on flawed data, leading to the unlawful detention of U.S. citizens. Legal advocates are calling for third-party oversight. The lawsuit has drawn support from civil rights organizations and legal clinics across the country.
We are asking the court to do is for the government to follow the law, the basic constitutional rights that we also hold so dear. We are asking for people to have access to attorneys when they are held in government custody. We are asking for the government to have an actual reason to stop people and detain them.
Federal Judge Mame Frimpong will decide whether to issue a temporary restraining order to halt the ongoing federal ICE raids. The ACLU filed a lawsuit accusing immigration authorities of conducting unconstitutional raids across Southern California. They allege federal agents have been racially profiling people, using excessive force, and denying legal counsel at the downtown LA processing facility. Attorneys for the federal government deny the allegations. They argue that agents are conducting what they call legal roving patrols. They say agents make assessments based on clothing, behavior, and facial expressions, but not based on race.
Video from local news shows attorneys filing motions to halt large-scale ICE actions near courts. But not all lawmakers agree. In a 2025 interview with Pablo Report, Senator Tommy Tuberville suggested the blame lies with citizens. Don't hang around illegals. If you're in the wrong place at the wrong time, bad things can happen.
So, Senator, do you care if U.S. citizens accidentally get detained in ICE raids?
If U.S. citizens?
Yeah, it's been happening a lot. It's been happening a lot with veterans in particular. Yeah.
Well, first of all, don't put yourself in a situation where that happens, okay? And I'm sure with all the illegals we have in this country, you're going to probably have some mistakes happen. That's going to happen. But again, as long as we take care of it the right way, understand they are citizens, let them go. But again, if you're going to be hanging around people that are not citizens of this country, some things like that are going to probably happen. Illegals.
Okay.
Bottom line, because President Trump has said we're going to go after you, and at the end of the day, if you're in the wrong place at the wrong time, something bad could happen.
His statement highlights a divide between those demanding reform and others defending ICE's broad authority. Here is a man online sharing his honest opinion about immigrants.
Would you rather support illegal immigrants or homeless veterans?
There you go. How you gonna give all these illegal immigrants $1,000? We got people fought for this country. They over here laying in the street. These people fought for our country, and you guys are treating him second.
What do you consider an illegal immigrant?
People who wasn't born in this country and don't support the American dream, meaning paying taxes, cleaning the neighborhood, taking their kids to a good school, not bringing all these illegal immigrants, trafficking children.
Do you support mass deportation?
Yeah.
In 2025, several local districts and service providers documented changes in community behavior following ICE activity. Reports include decreased student attendance, fewer walk-in visits at public clinics, and reduced participation in local programs. These trends have led some city and state officials to examine whether existing enforcement practices may affect broader access to institutions, regardless of immigration status. Confirmed cases of U.S. citizens being detained by ICE have also prompted legal and procedural reviews. While ICE maintains these incidents are rare, accompanying lawsuits and footage have raised ongoing questions about the reliability of federal databases and verification methods.